Ladies and gentlemen, and my dear friends, welcome to Tata Crucible, the Campus Quiz 2021. This year, the Campus Quiz is going to be an entirely digital experience. Thousands of you have been part of the preliminary rounds, from which we are now down to the 24 cluster rounds. The stage is set, and it just does not get bigger than this. Presenting the wildcards at the cluster rounds is the only lady professional quiz host across Asia, a lady who was among 40 under 40 in the year 2020 in that list. A prolific host, no new face to Tata Crucible. Time for you to welcome on stage Miss Rashmi Furtado.
Ladies and gentlemen, and all you enthusiastic quizzers, welcome to Tata Crucible Campus Quiz 2021. Before we progress any further, let me wish all of you a very happy Women's Day. At a personal level, I can't be more happy that this celebration of knowledge has come together with the celebration of women on this day as we launch the journey of Tata Crucible Campus Quiz 2021. After multiple rounds of prelims, we have now arrived at all the contestants who will be battling it out in the 24 cluster rounds. We will have 2 wildcard rounds for every cluster, out of which the top 6 will qualify to the cluster finals. The winner of each cluster will move forward to the zonal round, and it will move on to the national and international rounds. As all of you are aware, Tata Crucible Campus Edition this year has gone digital, and all of you are taking part as individuals from the comfort of your home and the safety of your home. That's what's most important. For now, it's time to start with the wild card for our first cluster, which is from Andhra Pradesh. Let me introduce our cluster finalists, or rather our wild card contestants here today, and then get cracking with this wild card round. First up, we have Amok from Geetham University. All right, that's Amok for you. Following him is Harshit from Geetham again. Up next is Vikhyat from Rao's Degree College. Following him is Abhiram from Geetham University. Up next is Soumya from IIM Vizag. And completing our lineup here today is Naveen from IIM Vizag again. All right, those are our wildcard contestants from this particular cluster. But before we move on, let me quickly tell you the rules of the game. From this particular wild card, we will have the top 3 who will qualify to the cluster final. I have 10 questions for them, all the questions on the buzzer. +1 if they get it right, -1 if you get it wrong. Single attempt per question only. Multiple attempts are not allowed. If you press the buzzer as I'm reading out the question, I will stop reading the question because you're indicating to me that you already know the answer. Please note, nothing appears on your screen, so you have to listen to what I have to say. Also, once you press the buzzer, wait for me to call out your name. Only the person whose name I have called out, that person will unmute himself or herself and give me the answer. And this has to happen within 3 to 5 seconds. You cannot press the buzzer and then think about the answer. That is not allowed, so be very careful about that. All of you audience, the audience questions will be asked during the cluster final. Also, the buzzer indicator round will not be appearing during the wildcard, so I would be telling who the person is who has pressed the buzzer. All of you wildcard contestants, ensure that you've held your phone at an angle that it's visible, please. All right, great. And ensure that you do this all throughout the wildcard round. This is to ensure that there's proper fair play happening, okay? So please stick to the rules and regulations. You're already aware of the remaining rules that are there. So let's quickly start this game. I can't wait to start this wildcard. Let me tell you, I have missed hosting Tata Crucible a lot, and I'm happy to be back here on this platform. So good luck to all of you. Like I said, all the questions, I'm going to read out them for you. Good luck. Question number 1. Here we go. He is Richie Rich's butler, and he shares the name with a very well-known brand. Vikhyat is on the buzzer. Go ahead, Vikhyat.
His name is Cadbury.
+1. Absolutely right. Cadbury giving Vikhyat a +1 on that. Butler of Richie Rich and also a very famous brand. My favorite brand. Let's move on. Question number 2. Here we go. Expand FICCI, as in the industry body. Oh, really? Naveen. Yes, go ahead, Naveen. You need to unmute yourself, Naveen. Naveen, could you please do it quickly? Naveen, I'm sorry I'm not able to hear you. Could you quickly unmute yourself and speak?
Am I audible now?
Yes, yes. Go ahead, please, quickly.
Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce of Industries.
All right, give it to you. +1. Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. +1 on that. All right, guys, be very careful with your mics there, okay? So you can't take too long. Moving on. Question number 3. Here we go. Tata Sampann focuses on food industry, mainly on dals, lentils, and different types of dals. Which Tata company owns Tata Sampann? Vikhyat, go ahead.
Tata Consumer Products.
Tata Consumer Products. All right, I give it to you. You're absolutely right on that. +1 to you. I would have given it to you even if you had told me Tata Chemicals. That's the reason I sort of took a second there. Giving you a +1 on that. Vikhyat is currently on +2, doing well for himself. 3 of you qualify. Keep that in mind. It's not about winning. It's about qualifying to the cluster round. Remember that. Moving on. Question number 4. Fun School, the toy maker, is a joint venture between Hasbro and which tire company? Vikhyat again. Go ahead, Vikhyat.
This is MRF.
MRF +1, doing very well. He's on +3 now. If he doesn't mess this up, he's definitely on to the cluster finals. But I have seen Vikhyat, he can mess it up for himself sometimes. Let's just hope he doesn't do that. Moving on. Question number 5. Here we go. How does the world know the Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing Company better? Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing Company? Oh, okay. No one going on that. The answer I was looking for is 3M. All of us know 3M. I expected you all to know 3M easily, actually. All right, never mind. Moving on. 5 more questions to go. Question number 6 of this game. Here we go. Intelligence everywhere is the punchline of which company? LG or Motorola? Amok, go ahead, Amok. He's on the buzzer.
Motorola.
Motorola giving him a +1 on that. Absolutely right. He is now on +1. Moving on, question number 7. Here we go. Duracell and Oral-B are owned by which company? Colgate or Gillette? I said Duracell and Oral-B. Yes, Abhiram, go ahead. You've pressed the buzzer.
Is it Gillette?
+1. Absolutely right. Gillette taking him on a +1 as well. Moving on, question number 8. Here we go. In Greek mythology, I had the role of the divine charioteer flying above battlefields and giving glory to the victors. Who am I? This is a business quiz, so keep that in mind. Harshit, go ahead. Harshit.
Hello.
Yes, Harshit, go ahead. Harshit, go ahead.
Is it Hanuman? Hello.
Can you repeat that, Harshit?
Yeah, Hanuman.
All right, taking a -1 on that. I said this is a business quiz. You have to keep that in mind. Nike. Nike, the answer I was looking for. Taking a -1 is Harshit. Moving on. Question number 9. Here we go. Get hashtag one more hour is a campaign to educate people to get enough sleep and rest. Whose campaign is it? Allianz or AIA? I personally love this campaign. Hashtag get one more hour. Harshit, go ahead. You're on the buzzer.
That's AI.
AIA +1 to you. Absolutely right. He negates the -1 that he had. And now he moves to nil. All right. As of now, we have Amog on +1, Vikhyat on 3, Abhiram on 1, and Naveen on 1. One more question remaining. Let's see what happens. Question number 10. Here we go. Buzzers are all okay? Here we go. Which foundation advertises itself as unlimited food for education? I said foundation, a very well-known foundation of our country. Soumya, go ahead.
Akshay Patra.
Akshay Patra with a question mark. +1 to you. You're absolutely right. Akshay Patra gives you a +1 on that. And I have a tiebreaker situation here. Vikhyat moves forward into the cluster final, but I have Amog, Abhiram, Soumya, and Naveen, all 4 of them on +1 each. Guys, all 4 of you are now on a tiebreaker. Sudden death, I will ask you questions one after the other. Only the 4 of you are allowed to take part or attempt these questions, okay? +1 if you get it right and you move to the cluster final. -1 and the remaining 3 or 2 will continue with the game, okay? All right, good luck to all of you. Tiebreaker question number 1, here we go. Born on March 3rd, 1839, this Indian is regarded as the father of Indian industry. Who am I talking about? Soumya, go ahead.
JRD Tata.
Oh, -1, Soumya. Your drift was right, but JN Tata would have given you a +1 on that. Okay, so as of now, we have Amog, Abhiram, and Naveen going forward in the tiebreaker. All right, the next question, here we go. In which city of India will you find Amol or the headquarters of Amol? Amol, go ahead.
Anand in Gujarat.
+1 to you. Absolutely right. And you move forward to the cluster final. Amol, congratulations. And Abhiram and Naveen continue in the tiebreaker. Okay, all right, here we go. Which Indian celebrity has invested in a dating app called Bumble? And it's sort of like a feminist Tinder. It was launched in India around December 2018. I said Indian celebrity. Naveen, go ahead.
Akshay Kumar.
Akshay Kumar giving you a -1. Naveen, Priyanka Chopra would have given you a +1. She, in fact, appears in the ads for Bumble as well. Okay, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at our top three who qualify to our cluster final. That's Amog, Vikhyat, and Abhiram. Congratulations to all of you. Please stay tuned. We'll be back with the second wild card very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, and all you enthusiastic quizzers, welcome to Tata Crucible Campus Quiz 2021. Let me introduce all our wildcard contestants to you. For now, we have the wildcard from Andhra Pradesh. We have contestants coming here from Andhra Pradesh. We'll introduce them to you and then move on to the rules of the game. First up, I have Pavitra here from VRS Engineering College. Pavitra, if you could just wave. All right, that's Pavitra for you. Following Pavitra is Kanav. He's from IIM Vizag. Following him is Nikhil from ADC, Aditya Degree College. We have Vashik here, who is from Geetam University. Sai Kumar from Geetam University. And completing our lineup is Ajay from Geetam University. Let me quickly get onto the rules of the game and get cracking with the wild card of this cluster. First up, guys, I have 10 questions for you. All the 10 questions are on the buzzer. Single attempt per questions. Multiple attempt is not allowed. Please keep that in mind. And remember, you need to qualify to the cluster final. This round is not about winning, it's about qualifying. Remember that. Top 3 from the 6 of you will move on to the cluster final. Nothing will appear on your screen. I will be reading out your question. If you press the buzzer as I'm reading out your question, I will stop reading the question because you would be indicating to me that you know the answer. Okay? And once you press the buzzer, I will call out your name. You will immediately unmute yourself and give me the answer. This has to happen within 3 to 5 seconds. You cannot press the buzzer and then think about the answer. Okay? I hope that's very clear. I will wait for about 5 seconds after I have read out the question. If no one presses the buzzer in 5 seconds, the question will be invalid and I will move to the next question since the time would have lapsed with the previous question. I hope the rules of the game are very clear. I request all of you to please hold your phones in a manner that is visible to us on the screen. This is to ensure fair play, and I request all of you to cooperate with that. At some point in time in between, I may request you to give me or repeat an answer. If I do so, please cooperate and be patient with me on the same. For all you audience, the audience questions will appear during the cluster final. The buzzers will not be appearing during the wildcard, so I would be calling out their names. And like I mentioned earlier, 3 from this wildcard will qualify to the cluster final. Guys, your scoring pattern is +1, -1. Keep that in mind. +1 if you get it right, -1 if you get it wrong. Okay? This is about qualifying, not winning. Remember that. Good luck to all of you. Sit back and enjoy the game. I think you'll do well. All right, let's begin. I hope all of you are ready. Question number 1 of the game. Here we go. Invented in 1921, the inspiration being the wife of the inventor named Josephine. She had the habit of hurting herself every now and then. All right, we have Kanav on the buzzer. Go ahead, Kanav. Kanav, you're on the buzzer. Oh, all right. Taking too long and taking a negative on that is Kanav. Band-Aid, the answer I was looking for. Band-Aid, if you had just allowed me to complete the question, you would have probably been able to crack that question. All right, moving on. Question number 2. 9 more questions remaining. You can easily negate it and qualify. Moving on, question 2. Sport for all for sport is the tagline of which brand in sports, fitness, and adventure category? It's more like collection of different brands that these stores have, and the store is all over the country. A very well-known store. Kanav, go ahead. Very eager to negate his negative. Go ahead, Kanav.
Decathlon.
Decathlon, a +1 on that. Very good. He quickly gets on to negative, or rather nil again, which is a good place to be as of now. Moving on, question number 3. Which media group started the magazine Femina? Which media group started the magazine Femina? All right, I'll give you options. Or should I? I mean, it's very simple. Okay, all right. I will not give you options on this one. It's very simple actually. The answer I was looking for was Times of India. Times of India, Bennett Coleman would have given you that +1. Moving on, question number 4. West Side is owned by which group in India? All of us know West Side. Pavitra, go ahead. She's on the buzzer. Unmute yourself, Pavitra.
Tata Group.
+1 to you. Absolutely right. Getting a +1 on that is Pavitra. Moving on, question number 5. In the marketing lexicon, expand BOGOF, BOGOF. Something that we commonly see probably in stores like Big Bazaar, maybe? Or maybe even Spar. Pavitra again. Go ahead, Pavitra.
Buy one, get one.
Buy one, get one. What's the F? I said BOGOF. Come on, you're on the right track.
Freebie, freebie.
Buy one, get one free. I give it to you, +1. +1 on that. She is now on +2. A good place to be. Moving on. Question number 6. Here we go. Straight from the Gut is a book by whom? Jack Welch or Peter Drucker? Ajay, go ahead, Ajay.
Jack Welch.
Jack Welch giving him a +1. Ajay, could you mute yourself, please? Thanks. Mute yourself. All right. Jack Welch giving him a +1 on that. Moving on, question number 7. Here we go. Which cosmetics brand gets its name from the Latin word meaning white as snow? I'll give you options, Dove or Nivea. Sai Kumar, go ahead.
Dove.
-1. Sai, Nivea would have given you that +1. You know, often people think if I give options, it makes it easier. You ask me, it makes it a little more tougher. Anyway, it's just my opinion. Moving on, question number 8. Connecting people was a famous tagline of which electronics? Ajay on the buzzer. Go ahead, Ajay.
BSNL.
BSNL giving you a -1. Ajay, the answer I was looking for was Nokia. Ajay, you'll have to mute yourself. Thanks. BSNL giving him a -1. The answer I was looking for was Nokia. All right, as of now, I only have Pavitra on +2. 2 more questions remaining. I think it's safe to say Pavitra has moved to the cluster final. Unless, of course, she goes reckless and gets negative on the next 2 questions. But I think she'll stay far away from the buzzers and not do that. She's smiling there. Let's move on. 2 more spots remaining. Question number 9. A lot can happen over coffee. Which? Kanav, go ahead.
Cafe Coffee Day.
Cafe Coffee Day, +1 on that. Absolutely right. He's now on a +1. And the 10th question, the last question of this wild card. All right, we'll clear the buzzers. Guys, be careful. Buzzers are very sensitive. A light touch will activate it. And if your name appears, you have to give me an answer. Okay? Careful. Question number 10. Here we go. Which one of these magazines, or rather, which one of these magazines at a point in time was owned by the Tata Group? Illustrated Weekly or Reader's Digest? Illustrated Weekly or Reader's Digest. One among them was once owned by the Tata Group. Oh, no one trying. No one trying, and 5 seconds of time is up. Reader's Digest, the answer I was looking for. All right, as of now, I have 2 spots that have been taken by Pavitra and Kanav. Congratulations, guys. But I still have a 3rd spot remaining. And Nikhil, Varshik and Ajay, the 3 of you can definitely try for the tiebreaker. And one of you can take the 3rd spot that's available. Sai Kumar, you cannot take this because you are on a -1. So I cannot allow you to take part in this tiebreaker. But the 3 of you, Nikhil, Varshik and Ajay, the 3 of you can. And this is only for the 3 of you, okay? The rest of you do not have to try for the tiebreaker at all. Nikhil, I need to see your phone. I'm not able to see your phone on the screen. Yes, can you slightly move it to your right? Yes, that'll help. Thanks. Kanav and Pavitra, you're through. So congratulations. You can keep your phones away. And Ajay, not Ajay, sorry, Sai, you can also keep your phone away. All right. Guys, sudden death. If you get a +1, you move on to the cluster final. If you get a -1, the other two will continue to battle it out for the last spot in the cluster final. Okay? Good luck. Questions coming up. Which Tata company markets a perfume called Skin? Skin with a double N. All right, I'll give you options. Your options are Titan and Tata Chemicals. Nikhil, go ahead.
I go with Titan.
Titan, giving you a +1. Doing very well as Nikhil chose the right option, Titan. Right one? He gets a +1 and he moves to the cluster final. So the three of them who have qualified to the cluster final are Pavitra, Kanav and Nikhil. Congratulations to all three of you. All you viewers, thank you so much for joining us. But stay tuned. The cluster final is coming right up.
Friends, put your hands together to welcome on stage Quizmaster Big Brain.
Hello and a warm welcome to each and every one of you. You're with me, Pig Brain, here today as the nation watches the unfolding of yet another extravaganza, Tata Crucible, the Campus Quiz 2021. Well, before we move any further from my end, while Rashmi has done that during the wildcards, a very happy Women's Day to each and every one of you. Well, we've got representatives here from the women folk watching this quiz, playing this quiz. In this one, of course, into the final, we've got Pavitra with us, Rashmi holding fort during the wildcards. But Women's Day is not only about the women, it's about all of us celebrating women in our lives. So, a very happy Women's Day as this nation, on such a beautiful day, starts a fascinating journey to celebrate knowledge with sharp minds across the campuses of our country. And with us here today are the first cluster finalists from Andhra Pradesh. They've gone through grueling rounds across the internet, wildcard rounds, and we've got the top 6 with us here today. It is the commitment of the Tata Group to ensure that this quiz continues right through the pandemic. We had the corporate edition that you witnessed on Times Now, and now we are back with the massive campus extravaganza starting with Andhra Pradesh. Let me begin by introducing our 6 finalists to you before we move any further into this battle here today. With me, qualifying as our first finalist representing Geetham University from Visakhapatnam, Amog. Welcome to you, Amog, to this final. As our second contestant from Nellore, qualifying from Rao's College, is Vikyat. Welcome to you, Vikyat, into the Andhra Pradesh final. As our third contestant and our second representative from Geetham, we have with us Abhiram. Welcome to you, Abhiram, into this big final. Qualifying as the lone lady here today in the first of our clusters is Pavitra, representing VRSEC, the Engineering College from Andhra Pradesh. Welcome to you, Pavitra. If we can have a little wave from you, Pavitra. All right. As we move on to our next contestant representing the Indian Institute of Management from Visakhapatnam, Kanav. Welcome, Kanav, to our final year today. And completing our lineup here today from ADC, also from Andhra Pradesh, is Nikhil as our final contestant. Welcome, Nikhil. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're with me, Big Brain, here today on Times Now, and the extravaganza is going to begin from today. 24 clusters is what we've got. We'll somehow bring the best of them to you as you witness this. And from here, of course, the winner will qualify into the zonals and then the nationals. And then, depending on how the world unfolds, probably the international final as well. But as of now, we go one cluster at a time. Time for us to get on with this final. The rules of the game. All questions will be played on the buzzer. 100, the value of a right answer. You get it right, you get 100. You get it wrong, you get a minus 100. 5 seconds is the duration of time that you have for every question. If you don't answer in 5 seconds, the question lapses. So it's not about the right or wrong answer. Time lapse for a question is just 5 seconds. So you got to be fast. We've triggered all your buzzers. We've done all the sanity checks that are required to get started with this final. And we've got multiple rounds in this quiz, and I'll come to that as we progress. So if all the 6 of you are ready, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wherever you are, in the comfort of your homes, watching this phenomenal learning experience, or as the Tatas call it, celebrating knowledge with young India. It's time for the first final from the first cluster, Andhra Pradesh. We will pick action on the first frontier. Before that, can I request all of you to hold your buzzers up into position? We've tested them and we are good to start playing this game on the first frontier of our battle here today. It's time to get swifter. Here it comes. 6 questions in the first frontier or the first segment of our battle here today. The value across the segments remains the same. So easy math for you on 100. Starting with the first one on your screens. Here it comes. This is his 150th birth anniversary. Kanav has gone for it from IIM Visakhapatnam. Great man. My first question.
Jamshedji Tata.
Oh, we'll give you a minus 100 on that. This is Sir Ratan Tata. Minus 100 to you. This is not J.N. Tata. I would have not started this year with any other question other than Sir Ratan Tata, in whose memory a lot of things have been created in this world. A phenomenal leader, a man who really contributed in many ways, even to the independence of India, but I'm not going to go into that detail right now. As you take a minus 100 and we move into the next question, hands on the buzzer, question on your screen. Here it comes. Which company owns this brand? Presto. It's a huge digital e-commerce enterprise that decided to create its own brands. Presto, one of them. Kanav again. Global giant. Go ahead, Pranav.
Amazon.
Is 100 to you. Well played. He negated the Sir Ratan Tata very quickly on the negative to get back to where he started. Question 3 on your screens now. This is the first gigabyte hard drive. It was of the size of roughly a refrigerator. Which company created this hard disk? This is how it looked in those days. Which great technology company, roughly 1980, that's the era, huge giant in the technology space. Someone's going for it. Amog it is. Yes, Amog. Go ahead.
IBM.
Can I have that again?
IBM.
We'll give you 100. Well played. When in doubt on technology, always go for IBM. Well, 100 plus years. 9 out of 10 times their name should feature. As we go to the fourth one on your screens now. Founded in 2017 by Austin and Ben Nelson, it's an online coding class which offers services in a very different format. Many inspirations of this exist today in many countries, India included. What am I describing here? Amog is giving it a shot. Yes, Amog.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is the Black Hat Junior. I mean, there's a spin-off of it called the White Hat Junior in India, whose ads have become popular recently.
Oh, he got 100. He's lost 100. Minus 100 to you, Amok. This is the Lambda School of Coding. And the Lambda School is what actually started figuring out that coding can be taught quite literally to anybody, even without them having to attend physical classes. The fifth one in the first frontier. Teams getting swifter with every passing question. Here's the next one. This brand was voted India's most trusted oral care brand. Kanav from IIM is going for it.
Colgate.
Plus 100. Well played. Colgate was trusted, the most trusted brand in the Economic Times Brand Equity Index. And well played on that one. The 9th or 10th consecutive year that they're getting it. I'm shooting from memory, but I'm reasonably sure I've read that. Final question on your screens. Here it comes. It's an airline which is known for its heart symbol. Vikyat is taking a shot at it.
This is Southwest Airlines.
Extremely well played. He'll get himself 100. Early days in our battle here today. Vikyat gets himself 100. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's still early days in this battle. But before we move any further, let me ask you a couple of audience questions, especially to those of you watching this on the internet. All you got to do is to type the answer in that chat box next to you, wherever you are watching this quiz. And you stand to win prizes. So here's the first one for you. The first audience question of Tata Crucible Campus 2021. Which brand would you associate to the Honor Watch Magic series? I'll repeat that. Which watch would you associate to the Honor Watch Magic series? Type in your answers into that box and you could win a prize. Be quick. Here's the next one. The Raheja Group in India owns which famous retail chain, more shopping chain? That word shopping is a good clue. Before we move any further, you are witnessing the first cluster finals from Andhra Pradesh. The scorecard on your screen reads as follows. Crucible quotient begins with Vikyat from Rao's Degree College, and that's from Nellore, on 100. And with him on that 100 is Kanav from IIM Vishakhapatnam. So those two with an early start. Nothing really separating any of them, so not much to read into that scorecard. As we progress into the second frontier, the long one in this battle, where teams would obviously want to get ahead of the rest. But to do that, they've got to play sharper. Here it comes. I've got 12 questions lined up for you in this segment. The pattern of scoring remains pretty much the same. 100 if you get it right and 100 if you get it wrong. So be careful, 1 attempt, 5 seconds. All those rules continue to hold for you as we begin with the first one on your screens. Now, Crex is an intermediate alkalinity, pH balancer. It's something that lies between soda ash and sodium bicarbonate. Which Tata company would you associate to this product? Crex. Soda ash and sodium bicarbonate. Tata company. Vikyat is giving it a shot. Go ahead.
Tata Chemicals.
Well played. Oh, clever. I don't know if he knew too much about Crex, but he would have certainly known something about soda ash. And Tata Chemicals would be one of the pioneers in our country on soda ash and their understanding of it. 100 to you, and that takes him into the lead with 200. As we move to the second frontier, and the second question in the second frontier on your screens. Now, who is the partner of Paboco, a global giant. It's a 100% paper bottle. Go ahead, Vikyat.
This is the Coca-Cola company.
Extremely well played. Oh, Vikyat getting another 100. He's playing it on to his strength there, and he's quick and fast on the buzzer. As we go to the third one, the others have to be faster on the buzzer. On screen, here it comes. Which company is being discussed by this book called Creativity Incorporated? Vikyat again. Go ahead, Vikyat.
I think that is Buzz Lightyear. So Pixar.
Oh, you're picking beautifully, and you get another 100. Vikyat roaring ahead in this quiz. The others will have to really catch up with him. He's on to 400 if my mental math is correct. On 100 is Kanav from IIM. But here's the next one coming on your screens now. This is an extremely popular fun brand which was created by Shubhra Chadda and her husband Vivek Prabhakar. They started liking colorful ideas. Amog has gone for it from Geetham University. Yes, Amog?
Yeah, I'm thinking this is the YouTube channel How To.
Oh, that gives him a minus 100. This is Chumbak. Chumbak, which started making life more fun-oriented and essentially to bring in a lot of, elements of fun like fridge magnets and so on into your house, which spices up your home. The fifth one, hands on the buzzer, a negative to him on that, but all of that can get recovered very quickly. On screen, here we go. This brand is marketed as the Great Family Nourisher. Which great brand that some of us sometimes get to drink when we are not well, typically in India, especially as children, are we talking about? Well, their intention is to position it as a nourisher. Sometimes in India, we associate it with growth, with not being well, and then they give you this. 5 seconds of time, ticking away. Nobody on that. Well, you're going to kick yourselves on this one. Trust me, if you're watching this quiz in the comfort of your home, you're smiling, saying, how did they not crack this? The answer is Horlicks. Oh boy, everyone's saying, we should have got that right. Well, here's the next one. And hands on the buzzer. Question on your screen now. This is a Tata initiative. All you got to tell me is which Kanav is going for it. Yes, Kanav?
This is Tata MD check, and they have actually created a simple COVID test using the CRISPR technique, which gives you reports on a paper slip and uses AI and gives test with reports within 45 to 50 minutes, and it's better than the regular RT-PCR test.
Beautifully played. Beautifully played, Kanav. That's an outstanding answer. Current affairs in many ways. And he's got that bang on, and he's got 100 in his kitty with that quality answer. As we go to the next one on your screens, now. All of these will lead you essentially to a theory. Larry Grainer on your screen. What are we talking about in terms of organizations, creativity, direction, alliances? All these form what according to this great thinker? No one's on the buzzer. 5 seconds of time lapsing there. The answer that I was looking for is the evolutionary growth metrics of organizations, or the EGO metrics as one would call it, or Larry Grainer would call it. Tough one for Andhra Pradesh. As we go to the next one, all you got to do is to give me an overall answer. You won't get an audio or a video, but you would get multiple images on your screen. Here it comes. Which famous institution of India would this lead you to? Vikyat is going for it. He is already, I think, on 400 or 500. Go ahead, Vikyat.
I'm guessing this is RBI.
What do you know from this?
I think I just see the statues of the
RBI entrance, okay?
Yeah, the RBI entrance, and I think the Raju and the money tree is like to educate kids about like money. I'm just guessing based on that.
100 to you. Oh, well played, Vikyat. He'll get himself 100 on that one, and that takes him to 500, I think. And he's looking strong. Kanav is good. He is on 200. But I'll tell you, I'm going to show you the scores at the end of the round. So let's give it a couple more questions. Maybe Kanav will get closer, or someone else will probably just come in and blast their way in. Here's the next one on screen now. All these today belong to the same group in India. Nihar Naturals, Beardo, RevoFit, Set Wet. All these were different acquisitions over a period of time. Black Chick. All you got to tell me is which FMCG giant in India known for its innovation are we talking about? Kanav is taking a chance. Is it a half chance or is he confident? Go ahead, Kanav.
Calvin Care.
Oh, Kevin Kerr will give you a -100. He's taking his chances. The answer, Marico Industries. Oh, he says, Are, I should have got it. Well, he's got a smile. He knows he messed up on that. Here's the next one on your screens now. Which giant from the world of FMCG, Kanav again is going for it. Pampers, Whisper.
Procter and Gamble.
Well played. Oh, he's got that absolutely right. Procter and Gamble will give him 100. He needs to put a couple of hundreds together in sequence. He's playing well. He's nodding his head on that comment of mine. As we go to the final two in this frontier, penultimate one on your screens now. All of these will lead you to a very famous company in India. Vikyat is taking a shot this time.
This is Pidilite.
The only name missing in that illustrious list is Fevicol, which would have been very simple. Well played, and that gives him another 100. Well, Vikyat is not giving too much room for anyone. Every time Kanav gets 100, he gets another 100. So he maintains that distance. That's good quizzing. Final one in this frontier on your screens. Here it comes. All of these will lead you to a global giant who always looks to occupy space on your breakfast table. Who are we talking about? Huge giant. Nikhil's giving it a shot. Yes, Nikhil?
I think it's Kellogg's.
Oh, well played. All of these are different offerings from Kellogg's. Cheez-It, Nutri-Grain, Morning Star, Austin. Not that all of them are available in India. Globally, all these belong to Kellogg's. So that gives him 100. We've still got another frontier left in this battle, but before we go there and before I tell you the scores, let me ask you one more audience question. Here it comes. All you got to do is to key in the answer into that chat box that's on your screen. You stand to win prizes from the Tatas, and trust me, they give fancy prizes. You're on cluster 1 of Tata Crucible. That's a clue for the answer. Let me continue. Which city is the headquarters of the Indian Navy's Eastern Command? Which city is the headquarters of the Indian Navy's Eastern Command? Type your answers and you could win yourself a prize. Remember, cluster 1 is a clue. Before we progress any further, let's take a look at Crucible Quotient. Here it comes. On 200, Kanav from IIM Vishakhapatnam is gaining and losing, so he's not really making great progress from that 200 that he was on, while he's actually scored quite a few. Vikyat is actually playing the opposite. He's not taking negatives and he's getting positives, so that's adding to his tally. Nikhil's entered that scoreboard with a good answer on Kellogg's. And the final frontier will now determine who will go into the nation's zonal. 24 from across India will qualify, and today the first among them will walk in. For the moment, we move into the final frontier of our game here today. It's time, quite literally, for the 6 of them to think smarter. Here it comes. 6 final questions that will determine who's going to win this contest. 100 the value and 100 the negative if you get it wrong. I will read out the final 6 questions to you. You're allowed to stop me when you think you know the answer. In doing so, you are indicating you know the answer, so you will stop me wherever you press the buzzer. That's the advantage that you also have against the others, because you don't have to wait for it to appear on your screen. Nothing, in fact, will appear on your screen. So, 6 questions is what is left. 600 is what can be scored. So if all of you are ready, well, Vikyat can be chased down if Kanav can play it. And of course, if Vikyat takes a couple of negatives, it makes it even more interesting. But then, one never knows how it will go. All you got to do is think smarter, because you got to decide where to stop me. That's the smartness that you'll play. In typical business language, one would say you need to know when to hedge and when to take your risks. Final frontier, Vikyat in the lead. Kanav and Nikhil will possibly try to chase him. Starting with the first one, hands on the buzzer, listen to me. It was originally a gigantic RAF bomb that was capable of destroying an entire block of buildings. Today, a morgue.
Blockbuster.
Oh, well played. He's got that absolutely right. In Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, they like their blockbusters Friday after Friday. And in the world of entertainment, the word blockbuster actually comes from an RAF bomb which could clean up an entire block of buildings. Hence, blockbuster. As we go to the next one, hear me out. This is a word that originates from an Italian word which has a root on 40 days. It was due to a 40-day stipulation that the ship's business in those days had. Vikyat is going for it.
This is the word quarantine.
How? Quarantine means 40 days. Well, today the world is getting used to 14 days of quarantine or quarantine. In the olden days, when ships docked, they would actually ask them to stay away for 40 days because that was the period of time that was required in the olden days, because these ships would come from different places and could potentially carry illnesses. Here's the next one. Vikyat really going from strength to strength. Third one, hands on the buzzer. I was never meant to be a product. Rather, I was a new console that could play exclusively on Nintendo. However, Nintendo backed out of the deal at the last minute and my company decided to launch me. Nikhil has gone for it.
I think it's a Nintendo Switch.
Oh, I said Nintendo backed out, so minus 100 to you. Well, it was Sony which created the PlayStation, intended to be for Nintendo. Nintendo backed out and Sony said, so what? We'll launch it ourselves. And therefore, Sony's PlayStation. Well, Nikhil taking a negative on that. And the game's still looking interesting. Kanav, somewhere now will start taking a decision to play out probably for the second place. That's good prize money at the Tata Crucible as well. So he'll probably start wearing his IIM hat and say, okay, let me be prudent at some stage. Any money is good money. He's smiling. Vikyat on 700 is looking really good. 3 questions to go. Will he get 1,000? Oh boy. That can launch Tata Crucible in a crazy manner if he does that. 3 questions to go. Here's the next one. In 1916, the war blocked the export of sandalwood from Mysore to Western countries where they were traditionally exporting it. The Maharaja of Mysore, Wadeyar, chanced upon the unused sandalwood reserves and wanted to create something that was aromatic. Nikhil is giving it a shot.
I think these are called as Mysore sandalwood soap.
Which came out of a resultant of the war, and they could not export enough sandalwood, and then they created soaps out of it. Brilliantly answered. Oh, brilliant answer, Nikhil. Superb quizzing. He's from Padipalli, if I am not wrong, from the Aditya College, and he's got himself back to 100. He needs one more answer to challenge Kanav. That's a battle line that's there. Vikyat on 700 is certainly going into the nation's top 24. No doubt about that. 2 questions to go. Here's the next one. In the 1800s, I was valued more than gold and silver because I was rarer than gold and silver at that time. I became much more available to the public with the Hall Heroult process, which was developed independently by the French and American engineers. Pavitra is giving it a shot. Yeah, Pavitra. What metal are we talking about?
Iron.
Oh, minus to you. The answer is aluminium. At a point in time, was far more precious than gold and silver. Believe it. Final one, she gets a minus 100, but she was willing to take that risk because she needed that 100. It's a good attitude to have. It doesn't matter, but you have to take your chances. Kanav's going to be careful on the last one. Nikhil is on 100. Vikyat is undoubtedly through. Final question. Starting its journey on the 13th of January 1888, largely with high-quality photo essays, it opened up a new vista for cultural awareness from across the world and a better understanding and appreciation of nature, wildlife, and beauty. Today, it's one of the most widely read magazines across the world with a history from 1888. To this day, its photography is one of the most respected world over. Which great brand in this world am I describing? A magazine is what I said. 5 seconds of time. Is someone going for it? Is Vikyat going to go? He's gone for it. Just picked his buzzer and I suspected he would. Yes.
This is Nat Geo, sir.
National
Geographic.
The National Geographic. Vikyat will go to 800 with that answer. He has played a flawless final here today. It takes him into the nation's top 24. And Kanav with 200. While I honestly must state, Kanav deserved a lot more than the 200. It was just the permutations and combinations that he played that got him to a 200. But in all fairness, I think Vikyat would have still got the better of him on that. But here's a look at the final scorecard. Nikhil playing well, again gaining, losing and gaining. He gets to 100. Pavitra giving it her best, finishing with a minus 100, but she was very sportive. Kanav on 200 will finish runner-up here today. And walking into the nation's top 24 as the first of our cluster champions from Andhra Pradesh, Vikyat from Rouse College, Nellore. Congratulations to you, Vikyat, and it's nice to see all the others applauding him. I think we should do that. Come on. Let's put our hands together. It doesn't matter. Well, there's one line that I don't get to say at all in this digital medium. Put your hands together. It's almost like a trademark line for Big Brain, and that trademark is now underutilized. Well, lovely, well played, clinical performance by him. It's time for us, ladies and gentlemen, to move into our prize distribution, which is digital as well. And it is indeed my pleasure and privilege to introduce to you our guest of honor, someone who's been part of many a Tata Crucible. In fact, perhaps the Tatas lined him up as the first guest here today to kind of rub it into me that I'm missing my days and moments at the Taj. I love my Tata Crucible travel simply because I love being at the Taj. And he is a very passionate knowledge enthusiast, someone who loves travel, tourism. It's been a really tough year for that industry, but these have been leaders who have taken that difficulty in their stride and have today bounced back as the first industry actually to start registering growth, which is remarkable. Many pundits actually predicted that the hospitality industry would struggle far longer. But ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure and privilege to welcome as our first guest, a very dynamic leader from the Tata fraternity, currently the general manager at Vivanta, Hyderabad, the Begumpet property of the Tatas in Hyderabad, Mr. Hitendra Sharma. Thank you so much for joining us. And well, we all certainly believe the difficult past is behind you all. And first of all, congratulations for the way you people have dealt with the difficulty and made your customers feel safe. I was at one of your properties, not for a crucible, but I was staying there, and it's remarkable how you and your team across this country have been pulling this together. But
Thank you.
But Sharma sir,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this lovely introduction. And yes, we also do miss the the getting together, and in terms of doing it more direct competition than virtual. But then, as we say, that's the learning, and that's the thing that we have learned much faster and earlier than probably we expected to do. Virtual is the new way forward, or the new normal. I'll say that. So that's something that's nice to see, and being a part of it as probably the first time. And thank you so much for inviting me over. And congratulations to all the participants. And Vikyat is almost on the way to his Vikyati. So that's good. Nice to see that Vikyat almost taking it over. And yes, it's just the beginning. And probably I hope and pray that you should win the finals also. All the best to you, Vikyat. And thank you others for participating. And it's always what we say is it's more important to participate than winning and losing.
lovely, Mr. Sharma. I've got one more take for you. These are youngsters, they've got a huge future ahead of them. As a leader, as someone who leads a team, as someone who leads, a difficult industry currently, how do you see difficult times? What's your advice to these youngsters?
Courage, being optimistic, always finding, even being into a difficult situation, there's always something that we all have to look at is a hope. We should always look forward to something better out of any of the difficult situations, because in difficult situation is what we always see the best coming out of individuals, best coming out of organizations. And probably, as what we all say, that it's a time to sit back and innovate. That's something that we all probably in our course of time, when we are all doing well, we probably put it in the second tier or a third tier, saying that yes, everything, when it's going well, why do we need to think differently? Why do we need to think out of the box? But when things becomes difficult, or it becomes challenging, that's the time when your brain actually starts working much faster, much stronger, and gives you the most creative ideas. And these are some things probably in the last 6 to 8 months, as an industry, probably the hospitality industry, as we were all discussing, or probably talking about what Mr. Balasubramaniam said, the travel and tourism industry has taken a big hit. And probably it's on its way towards the positive, trend up. But as we always say, but a lot of innovations have come to, during this period. A lot of thoughts have gone in place. Things which we probably were either trying or placing it in the coming years, in next 5, 10, or 15 years, probably have come much earlier. There were a lot of things which probably we might have not even thought of it, have been come on board. Like quick ones to recap or to share is like hospitality at home. We never thought that dining out of 5-star hotels or restaurants can be as comfortable as it now dining at your own houses from the best of the restaurants available in the city, and doing virtual meetings. We there are times wherein most of the virtual meetings are happening on a beautiful app that we have launched called the Cumin. And we are doing the service. We are doing the service across the India, wherever the hotels are present. And we've also gone up to kilometers of 100 plus kilometers, delivering those best of the dishes on the menus. At their offices, at the residences, wherever they want, which probably we may have not thought of it.
So true.
So there are a lot of things, as I said, crisis actually teaches you a lot better than I will say that when you're in an easy period. But then we have to continue, working on that. That's also some learning that we have taken forward from it.
So well said. I think one of the objectives of Tata Crucible is to learn. That's a core objective. It's not only about the right answers in a quiz competition. Very valuable words from you. Thank you so much, sir. But just stay on as we digitally congratulate our two champions here today. Finishing runner-up is Kanav from Indian Institute of Management, Visakhapatnam. Here is his celebration. 18,000 to him. Congratulations to you, young man. Well played, and at the end of it, smartly played, because he did not take negatives and said, fine, I'm not able to chase down Vikyat. So he played it carefully. But ladies and gentlemen, prolific quizzer, sticking to a good form today. Simple plan, executed well. Our first champion in this entire sequence that unfolds from the Andhra Pradesh region. Vikyat, our champion, 35,000 to him here today. Well played and best wishes as you move into that frontier. As we get back to our guest, sir, thank you so much for taking time off and being with us. Do look forward to being back there with you for all your hospitality and the grandeur that a Taj provides at Tata Crucible. It is something we're not able to perhaps compensate and give our contestants online, but truly appreciate the time that you took out for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we also look forward to having you all with us in future and very soon probably. Wishing you all and your families a good health, safety always. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, after that phenomenal battle, which kind of moved in one direction towards the end, with the dominance of Vikyat from Nellore, who goes into the top 24 of this nation, but finishing a very smart runner-up is Kanal from IIM Vishakhapatnam. Pavitra giving it her best, Amod winning and losing points in between, Nikhil doing the same, but at the end of the day, it's Vikyat who cruises along into the next frontier. We will be back with you with yet another cluster, yet another set of finalists. But till then, from my young colleague Rashmi and from me, Pick Brain, to all of you watching this, from the team at Tata Crucible, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back with the next cluster. Till then, take care. Goodbye.